So I'm truly surprised that my previous video did not get taken down yet. Well, that may be because I have no subscribers and literally 0 views. But then again, you would think YouTube and big tech and so on and so forth would suppress everything and everyone that goes against their belief. But what do I know? I'm just a nobody. So I want to talk about today as you may have figured, politics. Seen the past 2 videos. I'm going to probably talk a lot about politics. Because if we don't, nothing's going to happen. No change, nothing. And the left wants us to sit down and shut up, basically. I mean, that's what they want us to do. Sit down and shut up. But again, if we don't talk, debate, nothing's going to change. I mean, we've tried talking in the past, and I haven't seen change, but that doesn't mean we should stop talking. We should still speak out, protest, peacefully protest. Do what needs to be done to have change done. It kills me that it's not just the left, it's also the right. It goes both ways. Now, for me, I'm not going to stop listening to a certain band because the ideology or they believe in different politics than me. I'm not going to try and cancel them. And I don't believe the right is... Well, I don't believe any of the people on the right are like that. It's the fact that if you're going to shove an idea or a belief you have down my throat, then we're going to have a problem. That's when that becomes a problem. You shoving down ideas and beliefs that you have down my throat. That's when it becomes a problem. But you expressing yourself, that's fine. Express yourself. But do it in a non-threatening manner where you're not shoving it down my throat and everyone else's throat. There was a band called Grandson. Now, they lean towards, I would say, they lean the left. I wouldn't say they lean towards the left. But I like the music. I'm not going to stop listening to them because the Democrat or left, whatever. I have a favorite football team. I'm not going to stop watching them if they're kneeling or standing for the anthem. Granted, in the come Super Bowl, not Super Bowl, pre-Super Bowl season, half season, whatever the hell it's called. I haven't been keeping up with football lately. they started to kind of plunder, suck even. Now, granted, the quarterback needs to be kicked. Now, the cancel culture is more prevalent towards the left, and I think most people would agree. Now, this past summer, I hope you've all realized there was riots in major cities run by Democrats. And I don't know if any of you have been paying attention, but when the Democrats use the rhetoric they were using and get away with it, we have a problem. We have a serious problem on our hands. And when the cops could not do their jobs, and when civilians could not defend themselves in their own home, we have a problem. Because if a civilian was to shoot someone trying to burn down their house, they'll put on trial for murder. Now, granted, if you do commit a self-defense act, you are arrested until you can provide evidence to say the contrary. Now, granted, I don't agree with that, but that's how it is, and I don't agree with it. But still. Now, when you have a political system saying, cops, you cannot arrest people for protesting, and yet they're burning down buildings and rioting, looting. That's not okay. And then, when they say, civilians, you may not shoot them if they're going to burn down your house or your business. Me as a civilian, no. That's not how this country was founded on. If I am going to defend myself, I'm going to do it legally. And if need be, I'm going to demo do it. I need to watch what I say because I'm going to get canceled, and if you are saying I can't defend myself at all, I might as well be living in a communist country. Hell, I'm pretty sure we already are. Now, to say the Black Lives Matter protest were all peaceful, you're either delusional or ignorant, or I wouldn't say blissfully hopeful, I would say stupid, maybe. I would say out of touch. Because me, myself, I don't watch news. I stay away from it as much as I can. But for someone to say Black Lives Matter, well, okay, are you saying my life doesn't matter, his life doesn't matter? The person over there, that could be the next Einstein, doesn't matter. All lives matter. Do they not? Now, yes, you went through some hardship, but so did the Native Americans. So did the Asian Americans that were put in basically concentration camps, if you will. Granted, we didn't gas them, but still, we did some pretty horrible crap. Operation Paperclip, MK Ultra, which I'm pretty sure most of you know what MK Ultra is, but Operation Paperclip, for those who don't know, we brought over Nazi scientists to work on the space program. And there was another Nazi we brought over. Can't remember his name. It was an evil dude. I think it was like one of Hitler's right-hand man. And we brought him over so he had a spy wing in Soviet Union. So we brought him over because of that, and it was before the Cold War. And we're like, oh yeah, okay, you won the spy wing and give us intel. We couldn't really check his intel until the late 1950s. We checked it. He was bullshitting us the whole entire time. Yet we still believed him. We ramped up his intel. Why? Because he was basically in charge of funding. He wasn't in charge of it, but he determined where the funding went. Yes, I'm not doubting we did horrible shit. We did. And we probably still will. MK Ultra was supposed to be I wouldn't say mind altering, mind control. Using LSD. You're going to use a hypnotic drug to control people. It makes sense on paper, in a way. But you're telling me they even shipped out LSD to psychiatric hospitals and psychiatrists to give to the patients. So we don't even know how the true ramifications of this operation was. They did it within our own backyard. So you can't tell me America's perfect. It's not. It's flawed. Now, it's not flawed as the Middle East, but it's flawed. Now, it really upsets me when it just... And people don't acknowledge... hell, the own government doesn't acknowledge the fact that, yes, we did this, and this. We're not going to do it again. Okay, you may not do this, and this again. But what about some other shady crap? What about some other shady thing you're going to be doing in the future? Because let's be honest. We can't own biological weapons, bioweapons, but people, well, scientific companies, like testing companies, house them so they can test them, and just in case a terrorist organization or what have you gets a hold of one and manufactures it, I don't know. So you're telling me we're housing bioweapons in our own backyard to test it in case of a terrorist organization gets some? Makes perfect sense to me. How stupid is the US government, really? You're housing bioweapons. Bioweapons. Biological weapons in our own backyard. How stupid are you? This is why the Antarctica, now granted I don't agree anyone should own the Antarctica, the Antarctica is cold as hell. And no one lives there. The only thing that probably lives, well, animals. Go build a lab. Put bioweapons there. Now don't dump them there. Experiment on them if you want. Yeah, we still got nuclear waste in our own oceans to deal with. Let's take care of that before we test bioweapons in our own damn backyard. I find it really irritating what the government wants to do. Let's test bioweapons. Let's do this. Okay, what are the ramifications if something happens? Oh, we'll worry about that when we come to it. Okay. Yet millions of people will die. That's not a problem. You're the US government. It is your problem. And yet, if someone was to, our electrical grid is so undeveloped. It is literally the number one it's the most at risk for a terrorist attack and a cyber attack. If someone was to get on a computer and hack into it, East Coast could be gone. Central America and West Coast within hours, just by a simple hack. Not even a simple hack. If someone was to bring a USB device in, like a USB drive, simply plug it in, a USB drive from home, we would be screwed. Big time. Big time. Because how many people know how to survive, actually survive, in the woods. Not really in the woods, but know how to purify water, make a fire, hunt. Now, granted, I haven't hunt for food, but how many people would know how to skin an animal if need be? I bet not a lot of people. How many people would actually go insane because they don't have a cell phone and can't talk to their friend 2 miles away? Quite a lot of people. I would say most of the millennia, the Gen Z, and new generation. A good percentage of them. Because let's face it, the new generation, at 10 years old, you have a smartphone. Why? Because mommy and daddy don't want to be bothered with you. Now, if I was to have kids, and at 10 you're not getting a phone, definitely not a smartphone. I didn't have a smartphone at age 10. I had a flip phone, if you will. And that was because I rode the bus. At 12, I want to say, I actually got the fourth gen iPhone. I believe it was the fourth gen. Maybe 11. 11 and a half, maybe. Most likely 11 and a half. But kids at 10 getting smartphones. Why? Giving a 4-year-old a smartphone to play with while you're busy talking to your pal about the game or whatever, or talking about her hair and her nails and what have you, just to shut the kid up, is not acceptable. Kids, newborns to 5, need that parent, need both parents to. They need the parent interaction. They can't. You cannot give them a smartphone and say, "Here, go play with this. Bye. I'm busy." That's not how you parent. Now, I don't have kids, but I was raised by 2 damn good parents. You cannot give a child a smartphone and say, "Here, play with this." No. Now, if you're on the phone or talking to someone, you tell the child, what do you say? You say, "Excuse me," and that's how you parent. That's how that goes. You don't simply hand them a phone or something and be on the merry way. You coach the child. If they do something stupid, like put a fork in the outlet, you say, "Are you okay? What did you learn not to do that?" They say, "Not to do it?" "Yeah, okay, good." You coach the child. If people make mistakes, so do children. We're only human. I saw today I was at the outlets and I saw today Pamela Goldie, and I couldn't really tell. It's really none of my business either, but she was buying I want to say her son, a Coach sling bag. Kid looked no older than 8. For me, when did it become like I owned expensive things, but I would never ask my parents for Coach. Never. Now they've owned Coach to me and so on and so forth. But as a child, I would never ask them for that. Never. Now, maybe he was getting it for a reward, something. I don't know. But to simply buy your child a Coach bag just for the hell of it. Now, granted people have throwaway money, but why? Why would you buy a child Coach? Especially if he's 8. No, 10, no, whatever. I would understand if he was 16 or she was 16 birthday present, what have you. To me, that would be more reasonable than a car that she's gonna crash within a week. But he had to have been 8. Now, granted, he was short. I couldn't tell, but he looked 8. Granted, he was well behaved. But to buy your child a Coach, anything, to be honest, anything, to me, no, I wouldn't do it. It kills me in today's parents don't parent. They do not. They simply go, here's the phone, bye. And at 10, here's your phone, go be merry. Now, for me, I wouldn't have kids of my own because of health reasons. I would actually adopt, if anything. And I would put my kids in Scouts. I would. It has taught me good morals. It has. It taught me to be a better person. And it's taught me good life lessons. Now, today, do I think that the same lessons are being taught? No, not really. Now, do I think some of the life lessons are being taught? Yes. But to the extent of what they were taught when I was in Scouts? No. You now have to own at Tenderfoot a cyber chip, how to be safe online. To me, that's the parent's job. That is the parent's job. You should be teaching your kids how to be safe online. But then again, you should be teaching your children a lot of things that you're not apparently teaching them. The school should not be teaching your children manners and how to be respectful to others. That's the parent's job. And you have to own the cyber chip again at Starlink, which is 2 weeks before we go. And you have to own the cyber chip for your appropriate grade. I don't know what the hell that means. Because I didn't have to own a cyber chip when I was starting in Scouts. And I don't see why anyone else should. Because if the parent can't teach the child what they should and shouldn't do online, well, then you shouldn't be a parent. And if you can't teach your children manners and how do we be respectful to others, then you shouldn't be a parent. And if you don't know how not to be a parent, well, and if you don't know where to buy protection, 7-Eleven down the corner, hell, Publix down the street from me has protection. And it's a grocery store. Corner gas stations sell protection. And if you're telling your man, don't worry about it, I'm on the pill. If you're a man and you're listening to that, leave. Just walk out of the room. Because I bet you she had someone else's baby. I'm gonna get so much backlash for this, but I don't care. It just... If you don't know how to be a parent, and you know you're not going to be a good one, there's a thing called adoption. You could utilize it instead of killing the life that's in your uterus. So, there was that. It just... If you want to try and be a parent, go for it. Just go ahead. Being serious here. If you want to try and be a parent, man, husband, woman, I don't care what sexual orientation you are or what your preferences are. If you want to try and be a parent, go for it. Sincerely, go for it. But if you decide it's not for you, and please put that child up for adoption. Just please. Now, if you are one of those parents who said, "Oh, I'm going to give my child a smartphone at 10 so he's not ridiculed at school." I was ridiculed for having a flip phone on the bus. I didn't take it out of my pocket at school because I knew better. Phones are a distraction to children, as much as they were and they still are. Giving a 10-year-old a smartphone is no better than giving them a flip phone. And these toys that say that are smartphones, if you will, pretend smartphones. That's not good. You're giving a imaginary smartphone to these children and saying, "He'll play with this. This is what you're basically going to be using in 5 to 6 years." No. Give them building blocks. Log things. I can't remember what they're called, but give them something to make them use the mind. Don't give them the... Now, I really don't care what you give your child, to be honest, but at least give them something to make them use their mind. And if you're going to give them a pretend toy, I'm fine with that. I still have Nerf guns. I have airsoft guns. I told them a big child, to be honest, but if you're going to give your child a pretend smartphone, but at least make sure they have something that would make them utilize their brain. That's all I'm saying. And if you are going to give them a smartphone at age 10, put restrictions so far up the wazoo that they can't use it, basically. They can only use it for calling. Nothing else. That's what I would do if I'm not giving my child a smartphone at age 10. Because they're not responsible at age 10. They're still breaking crap. Do you think they're going to be responsible for a glass cellular device? Let's face it, the entire screen of a smartphone is glass. That drops, it's done for. You're paying for a new $1,000 phone. I'm not giving my child a smartphone that he will break. Now that's just me. But again, what do I know? Now granted, you can't find flip phones anywhere you look. Basically you have to go to track phone, some government service thing. I don't care if I have to cross ends and O's to get my child a smartphone. Not a smartphone, flip phone. Because he is not going, I'm not going to pay $1,000 plus for him to break it. And then me have to either replace the screen or buy him a new one. Him or her. And then I'm going to have to pay another $1,000 to even get him a new one. I'm not doing that. Why would I do that? So, done with my rant. I am going to probably see if dinner's done. I'm going to go now.